Audiobook Academy. Book Summary. Metamorphoses, Apollo and Daphne. By Ovid. Ovid, the Roman author of the mythical epic Metamorphoses, penned it. Even though it's a work from his second phase, in which he wrote love poetry, it's from his middle phase, in which he composed mythological poems. There are 246 mythical stories in Metamorphoses. The stories revolve around love, treachery, doubt, and all that goes on between gods. As a result of their metamorphosis powers, they can take revenge, get anything they desire, or transform other people and gods so that they might punish them or relieve their tragic endings. In Metamorphoses, the lives of the gods and their ups and downs are depicted in a bizarre manner. Because gods are inherently passionate, merciless, prone to vengeance, and egocentric, their interactions are often fraught with drama and tragedy. As long as the problem is thoughtlessness, the Metamorphoses have a clear moral lesson to impart to the reader. Even when motivated by self-interest, such as revenge, all forms of weakness, such as a lack of one's own opinion, are depicted in a negative light, while virtues such as courage are always depicted positively. The narrative of Apollo and Daphne, from Greek mythology, is considered the origin of modern erotic metamorphosis. Beginning with the Olympics in 586 BC, the Pythian Games were held in Delphi every 4 years. As the dragon Python, son of the earth, guarded Delphi's sanctuary, they were dubbed Pythons. He was murdered by Apollo. Daphne undergoes a transformation in Ovid's poem that includes an amorous subplot. A crown of oak leaves was also mentioned by him as a reason for starting the games. The genesis of the crown as a triumphal symbol is explained in the first book's plot. It's Cupid, the god of love, who is the driving force behind this tale. Gods and people alike were struck by a young child with wings. Apollo and Daphne, Metamorphoses, Book 1. Daphne, the daughter of Peneus, falls in love with Apollo. He was smitten by her as a result of Cupid's wrath, not of his own volition. Seeing Cupid with his bow, Apollo was overcome with pride at having killed a dragon. He inquired of Cupid regarding the heroic weapon that would best adorn his chest in his dream costume. Having once killed a dragon with that sword, Apollo was confident in its ability to dispatch an opponent or beast. Cupid forewarned him that his arrow will hit Apollo precisely because he only causes love with his weapon. Cupid ascended Parnassus and shot Apollo from atop the mountain. Arranged love-invoking arrows of various strengths. Her blade was gleaming, as was the first arrow she shot. The other one was tainted. Daphne received the second arrow, while Apollo received the first. Daphne, on the other hand, began running away from Apollo as soon as he fell in love. It was all she could do to get away from love that she rushed into the woods and grabbed beasts. She was approached by a number of suitors, but she rejected each and every one of them. Despite her father's repeated requests for her to bring him a son-in-law, she considered weddings to be a violation of her religious beliefs. A little shame would make her flush. In her plea to her father, she cited Diana as an example of a woman whose father had enabled her to remain in her state of innocence. This is what the father said to Daphne: "I will grant your desire, but I cannot give it because of your beauty." Daphne was still Apollo's favorite. His heart began to fill with hope as the flame of love grew stronger in his chest. Daphne's hair was cascading down her neck, her star-like eyes, mouth, fingers, and fists were all in his sights. Despite her best efforts, she was unable to get away from him in time. For her own safety while she was rushing, Apollo yelped for her and implored her to halt. He didn't want to put her through any kind of discomfort. Apollo explained to her that she had no idea who she was fleeing from and that this was the real reason she had taken to the road in the first place. That his father was Jupiter's son was one of several things he revealed to her. He thought of himself as a true scholar of all three eras. There is no herbal remedy that can save him from her. Even though she was terrified, Daphne continued to flee and he continued to pursue her. He moved quickly due to his optimism, while Daphne moved quickly due to her paranoia. Because he possessed the wings of love, Apollo was able to outrun her. When Daphne, a powerless girl, made a desperate plea to her father, he refused to open the earth or alter her appearance so that she may vanish. She became immobile as soon as she finished her prayer. Each of her 4 extremities morphed into a different plant life form. Daphne was still stunning, despite the fact that she was a tree. Even in her new appearance, Apollo was smitten with her. He wrapped his arms around the tree and could still feel her breasts trembling. His kisses were met with fierce resistance from the tree. That she can no longer be his wife, Apollo tells her, but that the tree is still his. The laurel's leaves will be an everlasting ornament on the triumphs of leaders, and she will keep guard at the entrance of Augustus' palace. Jupiter's only child, Apollo. It made him feel good about his heritage, and he considered himself as a scholar of the past, present, and future. Having demonstrated his proficiency with weapons to Cupid, he was given a golden arrow as a punishment, which caused him to fall head over heels in love with Daphne. He sought to get close to her and win her heart despite her protests. He really desired Daphne's affection, but in the end, he was unable to win her heart. He doesn't abandon Daphne even after she's transformed into a tree, and that's his final act of love proof. In doing so, he bestows to her eternal splendor and immortality. Daphne, Peneus' daughter who is punished because of Apollo's indifference to her father's feelings. To keep her away from love, Cupid fires an arrow at her. She is a stunning woman who is reserved with her father, but she is steadfast in her moral convictions, and she refused to bear her father a grandchild despite his repeated requests. Daphne opted for a life of eternal sexlessness. Her persistence in her escape from Apollo led Daphne to beg her father to alter her appearance so that she would disappear when she ran out of energy. She was awarded the honor of being a laurel. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.